Hey Pokemon Masters, Toby here, and as a little bit of a throwback as we head towards the end of the channel, I wanted to look back at my favorite Pokemon teams. I've talked about my favorite Pokemon teams before on the channel, and people keep asking me to do team recaps, but over the years I've been playing less and less Pokemon. I do keep compiling my favorite Pokemon in Pokemon Home though, so now I want to do the ultimate My Pokemon team. I want to talk about all of my favorite Pokemon from across all of my teams ever. If you have seen my Pokemon card channel, you'll have seen that I have a whole book, a memory book with Pokemon cards that represent my favorite Pokemon, and they're all here. Though I'm beginning to realize that I did not see some of these in Pokemon Home, so I might have to jump into some of my other boxes across my games. But I want to show them off to you, my favorite team members, the team members that have made me the Pokemon trainer I am and that I've got to journey with throughout the years. Because yeah, there's always there's the Pokemon that are at the highlight of the team. Sometimes there are Pokemon that just join the team for a brief while that I don't really form an emotional connection to. So these are the Pokemon that I care, I guess, the most about, and I'll try and give you my best team of 6 of all of them at the end. Also, quickly, at the end of the year, my merch store is closing down. So if you want to get hold of a Tree of Evolution poster, or perhaps something comfy for yourself for the holidays, or for a friend, click that link at the top of the description. It supports me while I go on my break. So let's have a look in Pokemon Home at, I got a number of boxes here. I got 4 boxes that are filled with Pokemon that are important to me. So let's have a look and see. We have Primeape, Venomoth, and Gengar. And you might think these 3 Pokemon have nothing in common. They are all original trainer Yellow. They came from a virtual console copy of Yellow. What do these 3 Pokemon have in common? What? How? They're all spheres. Venonat, Ghastly, and Mankey, they're all round. And I just wanted to do a run through of Pokemon Yellow with 3 round Pokemon. And so I did. That was it. That was the full team, beat the league with them. Yeah, really enjoyed that run through, and that weirdness of 3 round Pokemon has always stuck with me, and I've always thought of these Pokemon as they're my Pokemon. Sandslash, also from Pokemon Yellow, alongside Hypno. They're from the same run through, I think. Figgy and Roper. Roper named after Vsauce's Jake Roper. Figgy because it looks kind of like a fig, I guess. And these 2 Pokemon are just Pokemon that I used in a Gen 1 run through. I also was this a different run through? Yeah. My original Virtual Console run-through, though, I got Alakazam as, the ace of the team, because when Virtual Console Yellow came out, I was like, do you know what? I really fancy using a classic Yellow Pokemon, and this Alakazam, carried me through Gen 1, level 50, and it totally helped beat the league. Also from Kanto, I have Butternub. This is not a legit Butternub. This Butternub is named after the Butterfree that I caught in the first ever live stream I ever did, where I had to beat Brock without healing in the Pokemon Center. And this is the Pokemon that got me through that first ever live stream on Twitch, 6-7 years ago. Mewtwo and Mew, Mercury and Ziggy, Ziggy Stardust, Freddy Mercury. These were on my Let's Go team as I was just messing around and it wasn't a very serious run through. And yeah, they've just stuck with me. They're not super important to me, but they definitely stand out amongst the rest. Blast is my OG. Blast is the starter Pokemon of mine. I actually asked my friend Ollie recently, what Pokemon do you think of when you think of me? And he says Squirtle, because when we were kids, it was my Squirtle, it was my Blastoise, and my first copy of Leaf Green, my first level 100 Pokemon, became level 100 by the Sevi Islands while surfing. I used to think Blastoise was just the coolest Pokemon, and it's interesting, my love for Blastoise has changed a lot over the years, but my Blastoise, she's my favorite Pokemon. Clefable and Raichu and Hitmonlee from a run-through of Leaf Green that I did while on the Isle of Wight about 6 years ago. I don't know why, it just really stuck with me, and particularly the Hitmonlee. Obviously, getting the Clefairy and Mount Moon, giving it Moonstone early was pretty cool, but the Hitmonlee in particular was up against Blue's Alakazam in the league, and I thought, I'm doomed. All I have is my Hitmonlee left. He's going to destroy me with Psychic. And the AI kept using Barrier, and Hitmonlee won with Brick Break a bunch. Oh, from Virtual Console Johto, Cyndaquil, this is from the live stream I did with PD Winnell. He's called Morty, I guess named after Rick and Morty, and I did the whole of the region with just Johto. I think Cyndaquil is such a cool Pokemon. I think it's cooler than its evolutions in many ways, and the pixel art from Crystal looks so cool for Cyndaquil. Also, you'll notice there's this Legends Arceus one, because I did the same thing in Legends Arceus. It's an ancestral Cyndaquil to my own Cyndaquil, much like the Hisuian ancestor people That's the way I see that. Kabutops from a run-through of Pokemon Crystal, but you'll notice the original trainer is yellow. It did also come from that copy of Pokemon Yellow. I traded the Kabuto fossil, because you always get the Kabuto at such a low level. So I was like, I'm going to trade it into a run-through of Crystal. And so by about the 4th gym, I had a Kabuto, evolved it into Kabutops, and it helped me out in Johto, and that was pretty cool and unique and memorable. Shiny Noctowl. I tried hunting for a shiny Hoot in Crystal, full odds. I do not have the patience for that. I ended up breeding with other shiny Pokemon to get a shiny Noctowl in Crystal, and I sort of wish that this could be back in Crystal, because again, the sprite art, oh, so beautiful. It does not look as nice in Sword and Shield. Shiny Pichu from the odd egg in Crystal. I got it, evolved it, turned it into a Pikachu. Don't know why I haven't taken it any further. Oh, no, I have. I've got a clone of this Pikachu through like hacking tools and stuff on my physical copy of Crystal, evolved into Raichu finally. So there's technically 2 of it now, but I still think of Sparky as a Pikachu. Lapras from Heart Gold Soul Silver, one of the many run-throughs of Heart Gold and Soul Silver I've done, and it's actually the only Pokemon from Heart Gold Soul Silver here. It's my Lapras. It's just my Lapras from Heart Gold Soul Silver, but there's nothing more to it. I can't really remember much about it other than I just think it's a fantastic Pokemon to have on the team. Espeon from Pokemon Colosseum. This is the game that solidified Espeon as my favorite of the evolutions. I always found that Umbreon was just too weak in that game, and Espeon using Psychic was just so powerful and spamming Confusion and Psywave and Psychic. I adore this Espeon and all Espeon since. It's just my favorite evolution. I've got Desclops here and Claydol. They're kind of a pair. Pokemon Gale of Darkness, right? Desclops would use Helping Hand to help out with Claydol's Explosion or Self-Destruct. And there was also a Voltorb that used Explosion. And then obviously wouldn't get hit because it's a ghost type. So it was just cool using that strat over again and just sacrificing the Claydol. But both of these Pokemon are super creepy, and I love using them together in Pokemon Gale of Darkness. So box number 2, got some Hoenn Pokemon. Big B. Originally, when I caught it, it was Little B, a little Lotad. Evolved it up into Ludicolo and then called it Big B. Traded this Pokemon along with my starter Pokemon from a different Hoenn run-through, Swampert, up to Pokemon Colosseum and did the Mount Battle with them, and it was cool to see these Pokemon working side by side. I hate the Pokemon Home is just like, it's either Pokemon Home's removed all the moves, or maybe I had to remove the moves to get them into the PAL Park and just haven't re-added them since, so it makes them feel like they don't know anything, but definitely, you know, like Dive, Waterfall, Surf, and just Swampert's great. Muddy Water, Surf, Earthquake in double battles is super, super fun, and this is my one from Hoenn. I don't know, it's from a recent Hoenn run-through. Sceptile from Oras. I had used Blaziken a lot before and Swampert a lot before, so I decided for Oras I would start off with a Trico, so that's why that's there. I feel like I've got other Oras Pokemon later, because then this Skarmory is from the same run-through as the Swampert. I got all the way up to Route 113 with just Swampert, and then I was like, I really should catch a second Pokemon, and got Skarmory. And again, it's those more interesting runs where I don't spam the team with loads of Pokemon, and I use Pokemon I wouldn't normally think about using, like Skarmory, and I get to create really interesting bonds with them. This is my Torterra from Sinnoh. I always end up going back to Turtwig, and this is my one from Platinum version. I also picked Turtwig in my original Diamond, but I don't think I have that Turtwig anymore. I have my level 3 Blissey. We started level 1 as Happiny. Level 2 is Chansey, level 3 is Blissey, and it's stayed that way ever since, from the Happiny egg in Hearthome City. Level 100 Straptor, this is from my original Diamond version. I do wonder if it was not level 100, and if maybe as a kid I used like a boosted experience share cheat pack to get it to level 100, but it would have been the high 70s, 80s for sure. Definitely didn't know Final Gambit, it's a close combat user. My Floatzel from Pokemon Platinum version, and my... Yes, and this had Ice Fang and worked alongside a Garchomp that's particularly important to me. And my Vespiquen, I was playing through Pokemon Platinum a couple of years back, and I used honey on a honey tree and found a female Combee. And I was like, that's super rare, so I've got to use a Vespiquen, and I was delighted. This is a super cool Pokemon. This is the Garchomp. This is one of my favorite Pokemon. This is my Garchomp. Like, when I think about it, it's the one that took on Cynthia. I can imagine it. Like, I remember really visually seeing it, like, using Dragon Rush in my head and like Dragon Claw when I was playing the game. This is probably one of my top 6 for sure. Probably Morty is as well. So Morty and Garchomp, keep that in mind so far. Krista and Zeke are named after Attack on Titan characters. They are from a recent run-through of BDSP. I thought it was really cool to get to run through Sinnoh with a Manaphy for once, because there was an event Manaphy at the beginning. And then Zeke, again, super cool to get Electivire early in a Diamond and Pearl run-through. I don't know why it's not regularly available in like Platinum, Diamond, and Pearl, but I'm glad it finally is, because it's one of my favorite Pokemon. Emboar from Unova. It's from Pokemon Black 2, I think, this one. I don't know what happened to my one from Black 1, but I picked Epic in both run-throughs again, like the Torterras. Reshiram is my original legendary. Reshiram is a Pokemon that I really like. Like, it's the bottom of the list of Pokemon I would consider to make into a channel mascot, but it is on that list. Like, I really do. It's kind of a bird. It's a dragon bird. Arcanine and Willow, both from Pokemon Black 2. I think the regular Arcanine is like a competitive one, and then Willow is like the story one, but they're twins, and they both should know Outrage, which is a move that I used against the final gym leader in Pokemon Black 2. Abed from my run-through of Pokemon White 2, I was watching a lot of Community at the time, got a Riolu just early on, and this Lucario just carried me through the Unova region. We got Stoutland from the Solo Rolo run. Rolo is the name of my mum and dad's little puppy dog, and at the time, he looked a lot more like Lillipup. He's doing good. He's doing well. But I decided to do a solo run-through with Rolo, so this is the Solo Rolo run, which I streamed live on Twitch. Many of you will have seen that. Electros from my first run-through of Pokemon White. Like, I just know where these have come from. The shiny Trubbish I've told the story about a lot of times. I found a shiny Trubbish, cursed the Pokegods, but then I evolved it into Garbodor, and yeah, I love that I have a shiny Garbodor. Landorus from the Dream Radar game, and it got like a really good, I think it got like a really good nature, just naturally, and so like I invested in it and got its stats up to par, and now I use it in competitive battles, and it's one of my favorite designs of Pokemon ever. I think Landorus T, I don't know why, I just think it's so cool. Crocodile, also another Pokemon I've loved battling with. I love Crocodile with high speed. You get a Choice Scarf, and then it just like revenge kills. You just, like, maybe you've damaged a Pokemon halfway, you give it a Choice Scarf, send it into battle, and it speeds in, gets the kill, and gets the Moxie boost, and then it's roll. All right, we got a Lola Pokemon here. So this one's from Ultra Sun and Moon, Kartana. I thought it was really cool. Kubo, named after the movie Kubo and the Two Strings, and I thought it was really cool just to use a Kartana, to use an Ultra Beast in a run-through, and I love the way this Pokemon looks when you bring it into Sword and Shield. Lunala, this is Nebby. I got attached to Nebby. This is my first Nebby. So yeah, I mean, that's that one. Metagross as well. Oh, a competitive Metagross bred in X and Y, I think, and then traded over to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon to help me kill Necrozma, because Necrozma was so tough to beat. My level 33 Psyduck Misty that I didn't evolve, I just got it in early game in the Alola region. Lycanroc traded to me by my friend PD Winnell. He came over when we were playing the Alola games, and yeah, we traded the Lycanrocs with each other. So I have Moon version, and he traded over this Lycanroc, and I got to use it in my adventure. Tauros from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, called Ragnarok. I think I wanted to get a Tauros because you use the Poke Ride a lot, so I wanted to feel like that Tauros was my Tauros. Really fun to use a Tauros finally after all those years. Golisopod. Love Golisopod. Just a really good Pokemon. Pokemon Sun and Moon. Got it as soon as I could. Got a Wimpod, evolved it up Golisopod. Do not regret it. Super, super cool. Noivern. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Caught it in the trial, the first trial Keven. As a Noibat, it was super weak throughout all the game, but by the time we were onto the Rainbow Rocket arc, it carried. Macargo is the first Pokemon I caught in Ultra Space. It's an alien Macargo, and I love that. Eldersea is named after Luther Deceit, a character from a fictional series that me and my best friend did on YouTube before I was vlogging, before Birdkeeper Toby. It's like one of the first things I ever did on YouTube, like 15 years ago, and that's the name of the villain. And what can I say? Zoroark's deceitful, and it helped me beat Necrozma, Ultra Necrozma. Jirachi from Pokemon Channel, level 5, traded into Pokemon X and Y just before Oras came out so that I could use this as a starter Pokemon alongside Trico and Oras. I did, and it ended up in space battling Deoxys at the end of the game. Mew. This is a real legit Mew. This is a Virtual Console Mew. It's not hacked in. There's no glitch to this. I went to an event that was distributing these. It was the Sun and Moon launch party in, I guess, 2017. No, it was 2016, so I don't know why it says that. Maybe my console was set to the wrong date. But yeah, in 2016, I went to the Sun and Moon launch party, got this Mew. It came with like basically perfect stats. I think I bottle capped up the other one that needed to be done, and I used Genesis Supernova. I use this in so many battles. I think it's a fantastic Pokemon. I also have from my X and Y run through, I had a Pidgeot that was like level 98, and then I traded it into Oras, where it then became Mega Pidgeot and level 100. Mega Altaria as well has just like an incredible design, and that's what this Altaria was. And my first time using an Altaria in my team in any Hoenn run through ever. Vikavolt from Sun and Moon again. So yeah, this is just my original Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon had good bug Pokemon. Heatran from Legends Arceus helped me take on Volo. That's it. I don't know why that random Heatran is there, but that is one I remember using. These are all gonna... Okay, X and Y is the team I'm weirdly the most nostalgic for. It's the team that I feel I got closest to. And so, Blaziken, the event one, the speed boost one. Snorlax from the bridge. Venusaur, the starter that you get from Kikui. Shiny Garchomp from the Shiny Gibble from Pokemon Black 2. This joined during the post-game to help me out with post-game shenanigans. Tyrantrum from the Fossil in the Glittering Cave. And Goodra are almost all of my X and Y team is there. The only one that weirdly isn't there is the starter, Greninja. Just didn't get that attached to it because I was busy leveling up all these guys to like near level 100. So yeah, that was pretty wild. And then in this final box, but it's not actually the final box, Shiny Pom. This was a Shiny Applin that was traded to me by Phoebe, Cupperfee. I traded her Sobble, a shiny Sobble, as like a Christmas gift after Sword and Shield came out. Toxtricity carried me through Sword and Shield. If you watch my Sword and Shield run through, you'll know really close to the end, I got a Snom and evolved it into my Zoidberg Frostmoth. Yeah, the Pokemon was not incredibly strong. But by the end of the game, yeah, level 91. It helped me through the post-game and helped me through the DLCs. So, of course, did Urshifu by Urshifu. Which helped me through the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra DLC. And Eldegoss. I did a charity run-through of Pokemon... Why am I blanking? It's Sword and Shield. It can only be Sword and Shield. Pokemon Sword and Shield and Eldegoss I became very attached to. Turns out that the nearest real-world location to me that would inspire a Pokemon area is the area that inspired Turffield. And so Eldegoss is just a Pokemon I would see. If I was out in the street, I would see an Eldegoss, like, in my local area. It wouldn't be hard to find. Shiny Clawf, another Christmas gift from Phoebe. She shiny hunted one while I was napping. I woke up, didn't play the game for like 5 days, then looked at it and went, Phoebe, why do I have a shiny Clawf? It's called Heisenberg. I love it. Armarouge, I was surprised. I thought Ceruledge was the one I was going to get really attached to, but actually, I could, again, much like the Garchomp, even playing, you know, Scarlet and Violet as an adult, I could really visualize and imagine Armarouge in combat and, like, using powerful lava plume attacks and jumping over opponents. It was fast and it was strong, and I like my Armarouge, but I really like my Wuchien. Wuchien, I think seeing the ruinous door at the beginning of the game and then coming back to it later after that really cool hunt for the stakes made it feel like it was always meant to be part of the team. And so I'm attached to it in a way that I am more than the other ruinous quartet. And Annihilape. I just fell in love with Annihilape. Again, this Pokemon just like carried me all the way through Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And I think Annihilape is incredible. These two are sort of honorary members, because I haven't really got to use them yet, but I love the design so much. I want to fall in love with them, but technically they're not part of this. Blood Moon Ursaluna, and then Roaring Moon. I hope I get more of a chance to use them in the Indigo Disc, but might not happen. Now, I realize there are a couple Pokemon that are totally missing. So where have they gone? I know there's a couple in Legends Arceus. I love the way the Pokemon look in Legends Arceus. I'd happily have all my Pokemon in here if all Pokemon were programmed into it. I've actually gone ahead and created like hacks, like duplicates of all of my Pokemon, and then using various like hacking tools, taken the Pokemon and made like older versions of them to put back into my old copies. So I've got like the Pokemon that I've moved up from Crystal version, I've got sort of like variants of them back in Crystal because I just like, I want to have them there. I kind of wish I could just send them all back. I like the way they look in the older games. We have Tikti, the shiny Empoleon, which I caught here in Legends Arceus as an alpha Pokemon. My Steelix, which is Brock from Virtual Console Gold Silver Crystal. Miyamoto, the Monster Barrel, who many of you might remember from here on YouTube, a solo run of Pokemon Platinum with just a Bidoof, a Bibarel. Heracross. Just a Heracross from Heart Gold Soul Silver that I think is particularly cool. Gliscor that I caught in Platinum and then traded over, and it helped me beat the Black Tower in Pokemon Black and White 2. And my Torterra from Pokemon... Oh, this is interesting. It's actually... This one is from... Alola. You got it on the island scan and a Turtwig, and then I played through Alola in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon with a Torterra on my team. All right, I just have to note, because I don't know where they are. They'll be in one of my games, but I don't want to go hunting now. I have a Togekiss from Pokemon Platinum that was given to me from the Togepi egg from Cynthia. That is very important to me. Obviously not so important that I'm not keeping track of it, I love this Togekiss. Rotom, also from Pokemon Platinum. It was around the time that I started the channel, and I did some theories about Rotom with Game Boy Luke, and I was like, you know what? I really want to play through Platinum again and play it with a Rotom, and I did, and I got it at the old Chateau early in the game, and it was just really, really fun. Holucha! I just had a really fun time with the competitive Holucha that had sort of unburdened Sky Attack and Acrobatics and the Power Herb. And yeah, it just has become a mainstay. It'll be on whatever. I think it's probably in Sword and Shield. Jellicent as well with leftovers, huge HP, Shadow Ball, Water Spout. Not a teammate from a particular journey, but a Pokemon I very much consider mine. See, that's why I've chosen cards like Noivern on the Alolan Islands from an Alolan set, because that's my Noivern. It's not just like any old Noivern. And I got a Machamp called Muscle, which is the classic Machamp card. And it helped me, it's the one that you get traded in Goldenrod to help me take on Whitney's Miltank as a Machop. This is my Tentacruel, which is a sort of competitive one, which just, yeah, it's one of my earlier competitive Pokemon. And then there's two Pokemon that I don't have, because I just don't have those save files anymore. Feraligatr, my first Feraligatr, from the first time I played Pokemon Silver version. And the reason it says Big Brother and level 100 is my big brother had a level 100 Feraligatr. And that's what I aspired to be when I got to finally play Crystal version. And I chose Totodile like him. Many of you know the story of like Birdkeeper Toby, the name coming from Birdkeeper Toby and Birdkeeper Theo, who are in the Johto region around the Olivine area. And I remember the game. I remember seeing his Feraligatr around Olivine using Surf, and I remember him having a level 100 Feraligatr. And so I got Totodile as my starter. This channel was nearly called Totally Totodile as a result. And yeah, I just adore that Feraligatr. And then Pikachu, my first Pokemon, my Spanish Pikachu from my Spanish copy of Pokemon Yellow. Just a very important Pokemon in my story because it was my starter. And that's it. That is my Pokemon teams. Now, I guess I have played... The last time I did a my teams video, you know, I've played Scarlet and Violet, and I've tried to add those Pokemon, Legends Arceus, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. And I played a little bit of Pokemon Fire Red at some point and used the Charizard and Aerodactyl, but I don't think they're going to quite make the cut. Who makes the cut to my all-star roster, my favorite Pokemon, is really just dependent on how I feel and how well I remember them years later. Can I really put myself back there and remember what it was like to train that Pokemon? I found that as I was storing all of my teams from all of my run-throughs since the days of Gen 3, there were just so many Pokemon I couldn't remember. And I think it'll help me in the future with new Pokemon games, you know, should I play them? It will help me in feeling like there are so many Pokemon that I still haven't used rather than the nearly like 300 to 400 that I have. Just focusing on those kind of like this 100. These are my all-stars and my favorite Pokemon. I guess if I have my best team of 6, I already said Garchomp and Morty the Cyndaquil, my Torterra from Pokemon Platinum version, my Steelix, Brock the Steelix from Virtual Console Crystal, my Cleavor from Hisui. Wait, I showed you my Hisui Pokemon, I think. Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry. This is my Cleavor from Hisui, but I also traded it over to deal with a lot of the Kitakami DLC. So, yeah, I just really like this. This is probably want to be one of my Pokemon right now. It changes all the time. My Metagross, my Mega Metagross from X and Y that I traded into Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. That would also be on the team, so I think that's number 5. This is just an Alpha Garchomp that helped me through Hisui, as did my Shiny Floatzel, which I caught in Hisui. And then, yeah, I guess Pokemon number 6... So Morty the Cyndaquil, the Garchomp, Cleavor, Steelix, Torterra, and then I don't think I said Gliscor, but maybe right now it's Annihilate, because I really do like my Annihilate. So they would sort of be my 6 Pokemon. Oh, and then always my Game Freak Mew. Like, I just always, this would be an additional Pokemon that maybe comes out to help from time to time, because it is a legit Virtual Console Mew, and I just think that's incredible. So there you have it. That is me. Those are my favorite Pokemon. Let me know your favorite Pokemon from across time in the comment section down below. Don't forget to head on over to my merch store and pick up some merch while you can, because once it's gone, it is gone. And once stocks hit 0, they are gone forever. The Tree of Evolution and all of the other little bits and bobs of mine. Thank you all so much for watching. And of course, soar high, Pokemon Masters.
Hello there, it's me, Professor Oak. This video is over, so please choose another one wisely and quickly. Bye-bye.
Just the biggest thank you to those of you who've been supporting this channel on Patreon, including the big patrons of this month, Jedruben, Charmander Aznable, Anthony Lee, and the Alligator. Thank you so much.